Okay, it is still March the 2nd, 2024. And this is part two. Okay, I'm Ron Arrington-Bey. I'm still at Sensei, formerly at Sensei America Admiral Suites. I'm on a great base over there resting. So these are the lab experiments I know that exist here in Annapolis, and that and I'm going to give you those that imply to be able to do such things. Where I'm pretty sure the immigrants from Africa, even though I'm saying it's not going to be just one ethnic group can do this. So I know that there are lab, and I'll talk about that in a few moments. Lab experiments here in Annapolis that can force engage to cause your body to heat up, different parts of your body to experience heat, some type of form of heat, very fiery heat. Okay, which is a dis-ease, irritation, sick that can really cause someone to be off balance. There are lab experiments here in Annapolis. Okay, once again, why create such lab experiments unless you plan to leash them out upon the citizens or upon people on a landmass for different forms of subjugation and control? Because if you're not using the lab experiments to help defend your country for freedom, which you know the history of this country and those that have bled to think free and walk free, why are you creating them? And why is it that on this landmass you have so many who are afflicted with medical debt? They can't pay their medical bills. But yet, in Annapolis and other cities like it, these are some of the lab experiments I know exist, where the United States Navy, Army, and other military branches are prevalent here. So I went over the heat. You have lab experiments that are able to cause you to itch. So therefore it's engaging, and you all of a sudden you have an itch. It could be your vagina anywhere, under your breast anywhere. But there are lab experiments, wrong words. There are lab experiments that exist that can do this here in Annapolis. And if it's here, then you know it's a lot of other places. There are lab experiments here in Annapolis so if they can cause your body to heat up, you know they can engage to your mind and do the exact same thing, cause your mind to heat up, your head. So you have lab experiments that can call as they force engage, because they have engaged your entire body sheath. So when they put, when I say when, the military, the Navy, Army, or a government decide to put one of them on you to follow you around and plot thoughts, because they latch on. So you're sleeping. While you're sleeping, there's an energy field mentally going on. They use lab experiments to latch on to the intellect of your thoughts or a thought or some energy field, so that it will be easier for them to plot thoughts and manipulate how you think and download different forms of emotions. So they put a lab experiment upon, this is what they have done with me and possibly Imani, but Imani doesn't know because he's still learning his mind. Because I've experienced this, I can tell. And when I'm tired or just doing the same behavior over and over again, it's easier for them to manipulate. So the lab experiment that the United States military, Navy, Army, whatever, military branches or police that they have put upon me definitely have been that sound like from Mexico, South Central America, and the Black Negro. because that's the connection of the pale skin, and also that which is black from South Central America and Mexico. I'm saying that's her husband. So if they put a black Negro lab experiment upon me, and I choose to be, because this is I'm saying so, and I choose to be more receptive. So if after a while I'm tired of the four sharp pains, because these are what the lab experiments can do. Send four sharp pains to the genitals. So they got the male and female black Negro lab experiment following me as I walk back and forth to work or in this room, saying, brother, he loves you, male and female. Force engaging when they want to. Sending forth sharp pains to the internal organs, which this is what lab experiments can do. I've experienced force sharp pains in my genitals while a black Negro female accent is talking. And I would feel blood or see blood come on the pad. Because a lot of them would do this, along with those that speak Spanish from South Central America and Mexico. They lit their lips. So what they're demonstrating, not all, but too many, that they are some form of connection with a viper or some type of snake viper energy that is probably connected within that telepathic code that they have, that they have distributed to many, that Arrington-Bey and Arrington-Bey reject. Many times I've experienced force sharp pains and then simultaneously a black Negro, African American female and male are talking in this room. I usually say around this room, but I'm going to keep it straight with you, Sheikh Dwayne Bey, and those that are listening. It's in the room. That's what they're using them for. Or all of a sudden, I might start to hear the clicking in the room as I articulate each thought and sentence, or while I'm sleeping. Now, these are mental, what you want to say? Mental engagements in reference to controlling the mind. Now, who would be more adept in making sounds, using sounds to control the mind and thought than the United States Navy, Army, and military? The police. So what I'm demonstrating is what they use the lab experiments for. And also I'm going to do, and this is the connection to the zombie citizens, or the zombie cities, I should say. That was a plotted thought. So they have let me calm down a little bit because I need to articulate, because demonic spirits, they latch on to anger and irritation as well. And that's what we're among. So these lab experiments are just not lab experiments. They are full of demonic spirits, real demonic spirits. They are involved in satanic rituals. This is where the licking of the lip from those that implied to be, or that say they're from Mexico, South Central America, the black Negro, predominantly. They're not the only ones. Because if the pale skin is saying 3 and Mason with them, then you know they're collaborating together. And we are the only true Moors that I know of that's here in Annapolis. So they're doing satanic rituals on true Moors that they know are the only ones here. Many times when this happened, I have seen that look to be Mongoloids engaging and like licking my vagina, or I feel wetness in my vagina, or on my heart, or in my, or I can see a visual of one of the Mongoloid from South Central America possibly licking my mind, my brain, or something. I don't know, just engaging. These are lab experiments that are full of demons here in Annapolis, and this is real and it's true. And I know Moors, you Sheik Dwayne Bafube, know about this. Y'all been knowing about it. But y'all seem to be focusing a lot on Israel, on Palestine, and how this all connects to the Israel and Palestine can come back to here in reference to the Constitution or the Moors here. I think that's a bunch of BS. Because the reason why these unclean spirits behave the way they do is because a lot of times they are in connection with Moors who have deliberately accepted some form of payment spiritually in reference to a treaty with them. That's why. I would not behave in a manner in the open in a city where Moors are only 45 minutes or 40 minutes away towards another Moor, unless there was some type of connection or they knew something really, really low about the Moors, not all, but some Moors in the city or 40 minutes away. There is no way that would be happening. Because a lot of the unclean spirits here in Annapolis, they claim that they have paid Moors. But I know they didn't pay Moors for me or money, but they probably have done some type of payment with Moors that are 40 minutes away. Not all, but somebody in a high status. Because they are too open with their unclean, filthy, demonic behavior they are connected to the United States Navy, who's supposed to be protectorates, Army. Many Moors that are in high status used to be in the Navy and the Army, military. They are too open and they are too out with it. These lab freaks and these telepathic kids. So a true Moor, high frequency Moor, I know the lab freaks would never be able to say they paid, nor have they paid for one. But a low frequency Moor who have partaked in rituals, satanic rituals, who they know they have done business with. Yes, they would do it. So I don't understand, Sheik Dwayne Bafube. Why are you or any high frequency Moor worried about someone like possibly Elon Musk or Israel or anything coming to this landmass when the nation of Moors here there are too many who have a history of doing demonic, unclean behavior, and they are proud to say or bring up some form of book or information about treaties. When we know, and I know now, that spiritual jurisdiction is real, is true. That is the truth. Spiritual jurisdiction. So when you're talking about a treaty, Who are you having a treaty with? When we are demonstrating, when we are acknowledging that there are unclean, filthy, demonic spirits that are in the forms of African American, Black, Negro, South Central Americans, Mexicans. Oh, they filthy. Low life filth. Pale skins. Having sex with their dogs. They love their dogs. Because the dogs have the telepathic code. So they having sex with the dog. It's like they having sex with another 2-leg, 2-arm male or female. So what's the treaty with? So a Moor such as myself decided to reclaim her nationality when she awakes. This is part 2. I'm gonna I'm gonna go use the restroom. Okay, I'm back. So, okay, apologize, I had to sit down. And this is a rolling chair. So, the Moors, also another lab experiment. So, when I record, what you're hearing is the lab experiment frequency that they use to engage. So, they have lab experiments that can use sound. So, they're here invading the room from Mexico, South Central America, the Black Negro. Predominantly, they're not the only ones. And yes, and they are filthy and nasty. Very unclean energy. So when I turn the heater on, that's why I have it off now, so you can hear me. The lab experiments are able to exert sound and talk through the sound. This is where I would hear someone say machine. Literally, it's like it's a AI or some type of lab experiment. Just keep saying the same thing over and over again. It's like when I'm on the treadmill, they have lab experiments, Black, Negro, male and female, from South Central America, Mexico. Very filthy, unclean. Every time I say them, I'm going to make sure I use that word because they are unclean, very nasty, filthy, unclean energies that can engage with different mechanical devices, not just AI that can manipulate computers, tablets, phones, and so forth, but lab experiments that can engage with different mechanical devices, break them purposely, and also cause different, like it's a rhythm. So you on the treadmill, there's a rhythm on the treadmill. They'll start talking with the rhythm on the treadmill because the goal is to exert the sound mentally and then force engage. So you're trying to focus and exercise and maintain physical health, which helps you maintain mental health. The United States military, Navy, Army, police, and other foreigners, whatever, put the lab free on you or on me because they're trying to manipulate and control the mind. So then they can use the body the way they choose. So if you are healthy more, such as myself and Imani, well, you don't have to go to the hospital, because we haven't had to go to the hospital since 2011 approximately, except for once in New York to get ibuprofen. And you don't need no medical attention. So that keeps you out of the recycling of the medical system, where a lot of the lab freaks experiments work and have been used to cause many citizens to have a form of dis-ease and sickness, mentally, physically, where the doctors, the hospitals, the banks make money. Imani, it's 6:20. What time is your are you going to work today? Imani. What time do you go to work today? Around what time you go to work today?
Today?
Yeah, it's Saturday.
Today's not Saturday.
Money. Today is Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
What time do you go to work today? He was sleeping. Because it's 6:20 a.m. What time do you go to work today?
Don't know yet. Probably around 8.
Okay, the camera's on. Okay, you're not. So they have lab experiments. So when I record in the shower, the lab experiments that they have in Annapolis are engaging and using the form of sound to communicate. And then they're able to walk in the room while I'm walking around naked. Imani's naked. The black Negro female, they're beast animals, probably licking at Imani's penis. Thinking of ways how they want to rape. I've heard them say ride him. So I'm in the shower. The black Negro, because some of them use the word fine in an odd way. She fine. Or I fine. You try to look. So what's happening is in Annapolis, they're trying to normalize using these lab experiments that have been involved in sex trafficking, thievery, and other forms of criminal activities. Criminal activities against humanity. When you have lab experiments that hospitals, doctors, nurses know about, and they use them to spread sicknesses, diseases, to go into a restaurant and stop up the toilet stool because one of them husband is a veteran that was in a war, and his friend want to have sex with you, but you don't want to have sex with them, but it's a lab freak. Okay, so because they say in Mason 3, use one of the immigrants' lab experiments to go to the bathroom and stop up the toilet stool, and then the managers who know about it, this is just an example, send you to clean it up. That is a satanic ritual. Stop at the bathroom with feces and let the water overflow on the floor that goes into the dining room. That is, and then people is that some might have the telepathic code, but let's try to say all. Let's just say that. Still come in the restaurant, sit down, and eat their food. knowing what just happened. That is a filthy satanic ritual. It's no different than you in your private area, in your room, you on the toilet stool, taking a poop, and a lab freak in there watching you. So when I say they are unclean, filthy, and demonic, they are unclean, filthy, and demonic here in Annapolis. They have no shame. They will do anything in reference to unclean and unnatural spirits. They will have sex with anything. So when I first was experiencing hearing the noise in the shower, I was like, what? So the lab freaks, while I'm taking a shower, because she the way back Bay, I would be saying different spiritual prayers of protection for you and me, because I see you as my husband this lifetime. It might not be in the future lifetime. The lab freaks that are black Negro would be, I could hear them speaking through, because the water has a sound. It's dripping, it's running, speaking through it, saying brother. The females in the bathroom saying brother. And then all of a sudden a Mexican or accent appear. So I started to record. And you can hear the frequency, the words being on the recorder. So this is what they have in Annapolis. Now, this is what they sent out to other cities. This is why there's a such thing called zombie cities that exist. And this is why foreign nations look at many of the inhabitants and say they filthy and they animals over there. They animals. They beasts. The president is, we don't know what it is. Their president. So, once again, Imani Gray Bay, and I, Rhonda Arrington-Bey, don't know anyone here personally in Annapolis. I'm going to stop here with part 2. Sheep Dwayne Baffler Bay. Now, actually, let me finish. So, let me just say this. So, why are Moors worrying about what's going on in Israel, or even concerned in any way with Palestine, when you have Moors in a nation who cannot walk with their back straight? Were these lab freaks saying Rhonda Arrington-Bey was manipulated in the sacred mental grove and the National Grand Sheep effed her? They did a sexual ritual, a satanic ritual, to have sex with Rhonda Arrington-Bey to keep her from not being the lawful wife, or whatever reason, to Sheik Dwayne Baffler Bay. Where you have these lab experiments, unclean spirits, because we know there's a sacred mental grove that exists. It's the same. So this is in connection to the telepathic code and the mental plane. You have these lab experiences from that are African American, Black, Negro, saying that the sheik Dwayne Bethel Bay, when my dreams were first manipulated, knew about what was going to happen, and you let it happen because you're trying to demonstrate a satanic ritual with the female. This is Mariana Hasne that you have sex with. Now, I don't know if you having sex with her. I don't know if the rituals of sex and blood is going on with you and her. But I know what was implied and what has been strongly implied through the years and through the and through the mental growth. So, as a woman, why? And I have a feeling she knew a lot. I didn't know anything, but I'm not playing the victim. I'm just saying I didn't know much at all. A lot of the spiritual experiences I learned here. So I have a feeling she knew about the transformation of Moors. I have a feeling that if she is the female you having sex with, I have a feeling that she knew that Abbas Malik Bey, my son, was experiencing some real mental disease and transformation. That's why she tweeted, or the FUCK boy. I have a feeling, not just her, but those that support her, I have a feeling that when I was experiencing this mental experience about you having sexual rituals with her for pleasure, because sexual rituals are one of the, as I was listening to some wording, is a very strong magic. And what was her name? I can't remember her name. She does a lot of the Washita, the ancient ones. They into that sexual ritual for magic. So if you, as a Moor, have partaked in some form of sex trafficking on this sacred mental grove, you have partaked in allowing the transformation of Moors who are supposed to be reclaiming their birthrights and inheritance. So you're not just only allowing the transformation of Moors to happen, but you are allowing the theft of their birthrights and inheritance. Thievery. Not only that, you have unclean demonic spirits who've been watching and paying attention. They know anytime there was trickery going on in the sacred mental grove, and you Sheik Dwayne Bafabé or any other high status Moor, male or female, was involved in it. They know. Whether it's Elon Musk, whether it's other officials in other countries, they know. So while Moors, they shouldn't have no concern about what's going on in Palestine with Israel if inside the nation, spiritually, there is wickedness that needs to be corrected and cleansed out.